Retired assassins slinging snacks instead of swords, farmers breeding monster armies, office workers literally fighting overtime. This year's lineup is stacked with must-watch action, so grab your popcorn and pray your watch list survives. Number 10, from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Apparently, no one in this random Isekai universe. This guy was just your average, retired grandpa, chilling in his backwater village, running a dojo, probably yelling at kids to get off his lawn. But then, one of his former female students, who's now a big shot knight, shows up and basically drags him back into the world of swords and sorcery, because why not? Suddenly, this old geezer is training elite knights, hanging out with powerful mages, and even dealing with top-tier adventurers, all of whom are his former students, lapping up his every word. Number 9, Theogonia. In this world, humans are constantly fighting for their lives against terrifying monsters, where every day is a struggle. And if you don't have a god on your side, well, good luck with that. You're gonna need it. Our main guy gets a major wake-up call when he almost dies and suddenly remembers his past life. A very bad day indeed. Turns out, this world operates on a seriously unfair system, and those without a guardian god are basically screwed from the start. So naturally, this guy decides to say, screw the system, and fight for a better future. A future where he is in control. But that control comes at a cost. And number 8, even given the worthless appraiser class, I'm actually the strongest. Life lesson, folks. Never underestimate the guy who can appraise the true value of your junk, because it might include you. This poor dude is stuck with the appraiser class in a world where your job title is your destiny. So, while everyone else is out there playing knight in shining armor, he's relegated to the fantasy equivalent of a pawn shop employee, a walking, talking price tag. Naturally, his so-called friends treat him like garbage because, obviously, an appraiser is totally useless in a fight, right? But, plot twist, his useless skill turns out to be the ultimate trump card, because apparently, knowing the true value of everything, including your own self-worth, is actually pretty damn overpowered. He might be appraising his own value soon enough. Number 7, Pharmagia. What if you're a farmer, but instead of harvesting mundane crops like carrots and potatoes, you're cultivating an army of freaking monsters? After some generic evil overlord takes over, it's up to Tin and his fellow farmers to fight the good fight. These green-thumbed warriors explore a dangerous underworld, gather resources like their life depends on it, and then use said resources to pimp out their monster farms, because who needs a white picket fence when you can have a hydra guarding your tomatoes? It's a pretty unique concept, blending farming, monster battles, and some serious strategy, a mix that is sure to leave a few questions up in the air. Number 6, I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. This one's for everyone who's ever worked a soul-crushing office job and fantasized about unleashing their inner beast on their incompetent co-workers. This poor woman just wanted a chill gig as a receptionist at the Adventurers Guild, thinking it would be all tea breaks and pleasant conversations. Turns out, adventurers are a bunch of incompetent fools who can't even clear a dungeon without getting hopelessly stuck, leaving her to drown in the paperwork. So what's a girl to do? Her solution is simple. Become a secret, overpowered badass who solos bosses just to avoid the dreaded overtime. She's living the dream, honestly, but naturally, her secret identity starts attracting attention. Some hotshot adventurer from a famous party is starting to get suspicious, and her carefully constructed work-life balance is hanging on by a thread. It's only a matter of time until her secret is revealed. Number 5. Ubel Blot. Let's get dark, and we mean really dark. We're talking betrayal, revenge, and a whole lot of bloodshed, enough to make a butcher faint. Years ago, the 7 heroes were the superstars, saving the world and whatnot, basking in the glory. Then you have the Lantis of Betrayal, who were basically labeled as traitors, becoming outcasts. But, surprise, history is a dirty liar, and the truth is often uglier than fiction. Now, shove in a mystery man with a big-ass sword and a serious, deep-seated grudge fueled by vengeance. This dude is slicing and dicing his way through anyone who gets in his way, and it's pretty clear he's got a connection to the whole betrayal thing, and boy is he pissed. This is not for the faint of heart, trust. Number 4, the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. Isekai meets Power Rangers? You'd better believe it. Togo Asagaki, your run-of-the-mill, spandex-clad, evil-bashing Red Ranger, thought he punched his last clock after a heroic self-sacrifice against the dreaded exterminators. But instead of a dirt nap, he gets a one-way ticket to a fantasy world, because why the hell not?
Looks like I might not be so dead after all.
Now, instead of giant robots and city-leveling battles, he's an adventurer, minus the mech, sadly. But don't worry, he's still got that hero drive, and his main mission seems to be collecting smiles instead of loot. He's taking down monsters and helping the helpless, all with that signature Red Ranger flair. Joining him on this bizarre quest is Idola, a young, sharp-tongued mage who's probably the only reason Togo hasn't accidentally set the entire world on fire yet. She's the brains, he's the brawn, and together they're the most unlikely duo this side of the fantasy world. Think of them as a buddy cop pairing, except one's a former Power Ranger with a heart of gold, and the other's a magic-wielding smartass who probably questions her life choices on a daily basis. In a world without his usual tech, Togo will be forced to adapt, but once a Ranger, always a Ranger. Number 3, Compass 2.0 Combat Logic Analysis System. So, picture this. A bunch of heroes from different dimensions get thrown into a digital battle arena. Why? To generate energy, of course, because, you know, battling is their responsibility, or some boring schmoo like that. Sounds kinda messed up though, right? You got those heroes who partner up with human players, which sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Our main guy, 13, is the resident emo of this digital world. Dude refuses to fight, doesn't want a partner, and is basically one step away from getting kicked out. Total downer. Then there's Jin, a newbie player who, for some reason, thinks partnering with Mr. Sunshine is a good idea. Surprise, surprise, the whole system starts glitching out, and it's up to this odd couple to save the day, whether they want to or not. Number 2, Fate Strange Fate. You know the drill, Grail War, servants, epic battles, the whole shebang. But this time, things are a little strange, to say the least. We're in Snowfield, USA, where some shady organization tried to copy the Fuyuki Grail War and, well, they messed it up big time. We're talking about a messed up ritual, a missing saber class, and a bunch of weirdo servants running around wreaking havoc. It's a total cluster wreck, and naturally, the Mages Association is not happy in the slightest. They send in a couple of investigators, but things go sideways fast, as they always do. One of them turns out to be a traitor, and suddenly, the whole magical world is in an uproar. This is war. Good, classic, messed up war. Oh, and the participants are walking, talking nukes, by the way. Number 1. Sakamoto Days. Okay, picture the most badass assassin you can imagine, a living legend. Now, picture him retired, running a convenience store, and trying to be a good dad. That's the star of this show, a man named Sakamoto. This dude used to be the king-like badass of the underworld, but now he's more concerned with keeping his store stocked and his family safe. But, of course, his past comes back to haunt him, because it always does. Old enemies and rivals keep showing up, thinking he's faking the whole retirement thing. And since he's taken a vow of non-violence, he's gotta get creative with his takedowns. We're talking turning everyday objects into deadly weapons, using his store as a battleground. It's every action lover's dream come true.